Hello and welcome to the Safe Space ASMR podcast, where we talk about all things spirituality, personal development, and so much more, aligning the mind, body, and spirit to live our most authentic lives. Sometimes we whisper, sometimes we soft speak, but every time we grow, expand, and relax. So sit back, grab a drink, relax. I have my drink right here, which is a sparkling ice, grape raspberry flavored sparkling water. I'm still working on my soft speaking, so don't mind it. We'll get better throughout the episodes. Every other week we whisper and soft speak, and in today's episode 3, we're gonna soft speak, and I'm gonna tell you about the law of attraction, and not only that, attention and intention, how to really set intentions to manifest your desires. And this is going to be, I always have I don't know where you're listening to this, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or YouTube, but if you are watching on YouTube and if you're listening on, the other platforms, I look down a bit because I have some notes, but I don't really think too much into it. But this time I don't have too many notes. We're gonna flow. I don't really have notes because I kind of ramble often. But yeah, we're just gonna flow. I love the law of attraction. I think this is the thing that gets people into spirituality. This is the gateway. People watch The Secret. That's how I got into spirituality. Hold on, let me take a sip. I hope you grabbed a drink as well. I love vibing, drinking our drinks, and diving deep into things that will make us more aligned. So let's talk about the law of attraction. If you don't know what it is at all, I'm going to say first a very basic understanding of it. The Secret, I think, is a basic understanding. It's the thing that really pushes people to dive deeper into it. But there's more to the law of attraction than point blank what the definition is. So the definition, well, not textbook, but law of attraction is like attracts like. So positive thoughts attract positive circumstances, negative thoughts attract negative circumstances. But if you were to look at it that way, you would think, oh my God, I can't think negative. And then you're afraid to have thoughts. You're afraid to have negative thoughts. I know this happens a lot with people where they're afraid to think negative because they think it's going to manifest directly. Which, don't worry, it's not, because God, my life would be pretty weird. But anyway, law of attraction goes off of emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. And a lot of the times, thought creates emotion. Repetition of thought creates that bodily emotion, and then emotion creates your personality, which then becomes your personal reality. And when you think a thought, we kind of have this emotional response to it. But it's more so when you're diving deeper into that thought. I created an episode last week on the ego and thoughts, so I highly recommend watching that because it will give you a lot of help into the law of attraction. But we have a lot of thoughts, negative thoughts as well, because our ego is trying to survive. And your ego, the thoughts, they're programmed off of the past circumstances. So what happened in the past. And our subconscious mind controls 95% of our lives. And that might not be so good if we had negative circumstances happen in the past, or if we grew up around people that were negative and they programmed us with these negative beliefs about what we're capable of achieving, what we're capable of doing. Manifestation doesn't work. All these limiting beliefs get programmed into us each and every single day. And it's not the world's fault because we choose to accept it. But I lived victim up until my spiritual awakening. Here and there, I'm not saying I'm not perfect, but a lot of the times we live victim to circumstance. Like, it's not going to change because, people told me and I just believe this is what it is. And we just accept our reality. We accept our lives and we think this is the truth for us. You're not capable of manifesting a great partner. You're not capable of manifesting this amount of money because something in the past happened, or you're just not that type of person. You just don't think it's possible for you. So our mind lives by this program of beliefs. And I actually might make a whole entire episode on beliefs, because the law of attraction, if you look at it in the basic terms, it's not that thought creates your reality. It's that your beliefs create your reality. What you believe to be true is what you inevitably assume to happen. And the law of attraction goes hand in hand with the law of assumption. So if you've heard of that, it's like assume good, assume the best, instead of like, let's say you were going to go to this event and you were nervous for it, but you know what? You use the law of assumption and you just assume that the event is going to be amazing. You assume that people are going to want to talk to you, that it's going to flow so good, that it's just going to be great. Why not? So you make that assumption, and that assumption becomes the reality. A lot of the times also, this is just kind of off topic, but I do want to say it. Let's say you're out in public and people are looking at you, and you naturally, maybe your initial thought is like, oh my God, why are they looking at me? They're definitely judging me. Oh, do they think I'm ugly? Is something wrong with me? A lot of the times when people look at us, we tend to think this negative assumption. And then we get in this emotion of like anger, frustration, and this initial reaction, when we're really just living based off of assumption. And rather than assuming that they're looking at you because you look bad or they're judging you, you can assume that they're looking at you because they think you look really good. They think you look really pretty. They love your hair. They want your outfit, and that assumption creates an emotion of positivity, a feel-good emotion. And then in that feel-good emotion, you want to give and spread that love. And that feel-good emotion is what attracts the next thing, which leads me into emotion being energy in motion. So in order to attract your desires, we need to rewire beliefs about yourself. So if you find yourself, in that situation where someone's looking at you and you think they're judging you or they think you look ugly, all these beliefs, let's say you want to manifest looking really good, or manifest, clear skin, or we're going to start with physical, just wanting to look good. And you go in that situation and you assume that people are looking at you because you look bad. That old story, that old belief. Tapping into the new self-serving energy of, no, they're looking at me because they think I look good. They love my hair. They love my skin. Assuming that rather than the old assumption will transmute this initial negativity into this self-serving energy. And what happens from there, it's a build up of energy. And with that emotion, your emotions, your energy gives off a frequency, right? So everything is energy. Everything is made up of energy. This is a big thing in the law of attraction. Not just the law of attraction. It's not woo-woo. It is a fact that everything is made up of energy. And I'm not a scientist, but I do think that physical objects is like really fast moving energy where it appears dense. So we have this frequency to us, and when we feel low vibration or low stagnancy or low guilt or shame or negative emotion, we give off a very low vibe, a very low frequency. Love is on the high vibe, and I don't know which platform you're listening to this, but if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put a little pop-up of a frequency chart of all the different frequencies of different emotions. But your frequency is what attracts like energy. So if you're on a low frequency, you assume that you're not going to get XYZ. You assume you're not going to get the person of your dreams. You assume that you're not going, you're not deserving of certain things, not deserving of love. That not deserving, like guilt, shame, self-hatred, gives off a low frequency and thus attracting just that. So if you want to look at it in the terms of energy, your emotional vibration is what attracts that energy. If we're looking at it the terms of, science and how the mind works, I'll give you another example. If from all my rational thinkers, because I'm also a rational thinker, don't worry about that. But let's say you want a yellow Honda. Okay, you have that desire. I know that's so specific, but let's say you want that. And, you're out and about, grocery shopping, and all of a sudden you keep seeing yellow Hondas. Like, you're thinking about getting this car, and all of a sudden you're seeing it everywhere. And before you weren't. Like, why are you seeing it everywhere now? And another example is, let's say you were thinking of a song, and all of a sudden that song plays on the radio. What a coincidence, right? But you can look at it in the scientific term of your reticular activating system. So we pick up millions of bits of information per second. I think I might need to fact check myself. Yeah, it's like unbelievable, honestly. But our mind would be so overwhelmed if we genuinely, consciously picked up that much information every single second. And this is why, we can only focus on one thing at a time. Like, you can't focus on the millions of bits of information. But if you're thinking of something like the yellow Honda and you go out, your reticular activating system filters out what it thinks is important. So you filter out cars. I mean, of course, you're going to see other cars, but you'll filter in and tune into the yellow Hondas, just like the radio station. When you're tuned into a certain radio station, it's not like all other stations don't exist. They for sure do, but you're tuned into that frequency which plays that music. When you tune into the frequency of your desires and that energy as if you already have, you then become a magnet for it because it's inevitably going to happen. Now, I've been, of course, working on manifestation for the longest time, and I have always had trouble with believing. Everyone says you have to act as if you already have what you have. And of course, I definitely think that's true and it works a lot. More so, what's been easier for me is just being grateful for what I have now and not acting as if I have, let's say, I'll just use myself. I want 100,000 subscribers. Well, I don't have it. I don't see it. It's hard for me to think that I have it, or I have 100,000 subscribers. It's a little bit tough for me to do that, although I'm practicing, embodying this self-concept. My friend talks about self-concept all the time, and she's all about, pretending as if you already have it now. Like, I do have 100,000, that dialogue, which is very important. But for now, I'm going to talk a little bit about, the other side of that, which is not fully believing that you have it, because your mind will kind of reject that because it doesn't see it with its own eyes. But how would you act if you had it? Asking yourself that, how would I act if I did have 100,000 subscribers? And kind of embodying this energy of believing that I am capable. And I think that's the hardest part, the belief that we're capable of certain things, the belief that we're capable of fairy tale love or XYZ because we never had it before. And I'll give you tips on how to really believe that you're capable of it. But for now, ask yourself, how would that person be? How would the person that loves themselves be? What would they say to themselves? What would they do? What would they eat? And I noticed, before I filmed a video, before I film a lot of videos actually, I think, how would I be if 100,000 people were watching this? and I go into that energy and I think bigger and I feel more aligned and more authentic and more interesting and captivating. And I tend to think of my channel as, well, it's going to. So I am going to act as if it does now because that's what's going to get me there. So I embody the energy of posting 3 times a week, of putting out my best content, of, living as if I am a full-time YouTuber. And not only do I embody it, but because I'm kind of embodying it, I then realized through my journey, like, this is a personal experience of what I learned through embodying that energy of, having that desire and then acting on it. Because law of attraction, you're not going to like say you want this and take no action and it just comes. Like, saying maybe some circumstances, as in like winning the lottery or XYZ, but for most things, like, you do have to put in action, because what you give is what you receive. It's a feedback loop. Life is a mirror, and what you're putting out there, that energy wave that you're sending out, inevitably comes back to you like a reflection. Like, life is your mirror. So if you're lost or confused or don't know what you want or don't know what to work on, look at your life and question it. But I'll talk about that in a moment. But with what I was saying is, when I embody being a full-time YouTuber, because I have that desire, and if others can do it, why can't I? So that's a big question I really want you to ask yourself when it comes to like manifesting. If others are capable of doing it, you are no different, period. No argument on that. But so what the embodying did was create a belief of, I am deserving of it. For the longest time, I didn't believe that I was worthy of that. I didn't believe that I was worthy because I just never felt good enough. All my negative limiting beliefs have controlled me for the longest time, even when I had the YouTube channel, even when I, put a lot of work into it. But the more work I put into it, why wouldn't I have 100,000 subscribers? I know it's just a number. I love my community. I'm not viewing it as a number, but of course, when you put a lot into something, you want it to grow, of course. And we all have goals. So why wouldn't I grow? And why am I not deserving of it if I put in so much effort of it? And that decision of feeling worthy of it, because you then realize how proud of yourself you are, that energy is what attracts it. If you want something but you're not giving to it, it doesn't want you. Like, for example, what we give gives back to us. What we put out there inevitably comes back to us. When we love something, we want to give to it. Relationships are like this. You love someone, you want them to be happy. So inevitably you want to give them something, right? What you love loves you back. And we're going to dive deeper into relationships, and because when I say like you want to give to what makes you happy and they should give back, like, relationships are not credit and you shouldn't judge them based on credit, which we'll talk about relationships in the future, so subscribe, follow. But what I'm saying is, like, you want to give to what you love because you love it, and therefore it will give back to you. So if I want 100,000 subscribers but I don't give anything to it, why am I deserving of it? And I think even if you consciously think, oh, I'm deserving, you might subconsciously believe that you're not, because you're not giving to it. Life has certain laws to it. And I read this book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. First of all, amazing book, I highly recommend. But the one law there is the law of giving and receiving. What you give is what you get. So your emotion as well in the law of attraction, your energy and motion is what brings. So let's talk about intentions real quick. So an intention is a strong purpose and aim, okay? And think of a sailboat. I don't know much about sailboats, but all I know is that they have the sail, like the flag. I actually searched it up right before this, but now I forget what it's called. Like, what aims a sailboat. Anyway, so the flag determines the direction of it, and you're in control of the direction of it right? But if you didn't have a goal or an intention, or you didn't have that flag on the sailboat, you would be just riding the waves. Like you don't know which direction you're going. You're just riding wherever the waves are taking you. In life, the waves are like our subconscious mind. If we go on autopilot and live unconsciously and don't decide what we want with a strong purpose and aim, we ride the waves. What we believe, our negative beliefs, our subconscious mind, our old programs, our past experiences dictates the future. And that's why they say the future repeats itself. Because if it's not healed and if it's not consciously brought into a different direction, then you will continue to ride the waves and not know your destination and not know the direction that you desire. But if you set the intention, the goal and then the intention, I'm more about intentions than goals. I view them differently. Goal, for example, 100K. Intention is to create my best content. That's what's going to get me there, and it doesn't matter the timeline, really, as long as I set the intention to feel good now and create my creative expression and pour into it with love and passion. That will eventually get you to your goal. So you set an intention every single day, and that is like steering the sailboat, and it will get you there. You will go where you want to go. Just like driving a car, for example. You're the driver and you set it into the GPS for your destination, okay? And let's say it's nighttime. You might not even see you only see a little bit right in front of you, but it's pitch black in the distance, but you only need to see a little bit right in front of you. And you put in the destination of where you want to go. You set that goal and you just start driving. And you might have to make some pit stops. Sometimes you might make the wrong turn, but as long as you have that intention, that purpose, you're going to get to your destination. It's inevitable. Even if it may take a little longer than you want, not that it has to, it may even take quicker than you want, divine timing, but it's ultimately up to you. It's ultimately up to you. Where do you want to go? Set the intention, and you will get there, because your thoughts that are happening right now when you think you're a manifestation, that, no, I might not though. What about the past does not equal the future. And like I said, I really recommend listening to the last episode that I created on the ego and thoughts, because the thoughts are just such a limiting factor in this, because the thoughts really try to dive into the rationality and they try to keep you alive. They're a survival mechanism to keep you comfortable. And sometimes when we set that destination and that goal to manifest, we need to not think with our head, and we need to feel with our intuition and let our intuition guide us. It knows best. Your intuition and your soul knows best. And I want to give a little note to you that the universe, that is a part of your soul and intuition. You stem from that. Universe, God, source, higher self, whatever you want to call it, wants what you want. It wants what you want. It doesn't want anything differently than what you want. It wants the best for you. And let's say you want this amazing relationship, okay? You want this dream person. Sorry, I me and myself speaking, it's kind of tough because I get very passionate. And if you do know me, I kind of talk loud when I'm passionate. So we're going to try to keep it soft speaking. But so let's say you want this dream relationship, but you keep finding yourself in these relationships with narcissists or with people that manipulate you, or just negative relationships that don't serve you. And you always say, well, I can't get that dream relationship because I always attract the same people. First of all, that sentence, you can find your beliefs in your dialogue. You can find your true beliefs in what you say about yourself and what you say what is possible for you. It's not that, sometimes it's harder to get to those deep core beliefs, but a lot of the times they're right at the surface and they're right in front of your eyes too. Like, what are you lacking? What do you want but you think you can't get? Money. What beliefs do you have around that? Is money greedy? Does money not like you? And we kind of have these beliefs that carry us, but the universe wants what you want. So when you say, why do I always attract the same people? The universe will give you the same person again to show you why. When you seek to understand something, why does this keep happening to me? You're simply going to get it to understand why. The lesson is getting put right in front of you. And when you dismiss the lesson inside of something and you don't dive into, okay, well, I definitely have this belief, so let me change it and let me laugh at this belief and let me move on from this belief and really focus my attention on what I do want instead of why do I keep attracting this? Because when you say, why do I keep having, these circumstances? Why do I keep having this anxiety? Why do I keep having these thoughts or attracting these people or getting hurt? When you seek to understand, that's what you receive, because your focus is where your energy goes, and where your energy goes is your emotion, and emotion creating your reality. So where your focus goes, where attention goes, energy flows. That's like the law of attraction saying right there. But this is why I also think it's really important, like I said, to really be grateful for this present moment right now, because when you show gratitude towards what you have already, that creates a state of bliss, a state of high vibe, a state of good emotions, thus attracting more of them. Just like if you were to give presents to someone that you love and they show so much appreciation and they love you so much for it, you're going to want to keep giving presents to them because they showed appreciation. But if you're not showing any appreciation for your reality right now, of course the universe loves you. It really does, but it wants what you want. So what you say goes. So if you don't focus any attention on gratitude or appreciation for what you have now, and it's only, why don't I have this? Why do I keep attracting these people? That focus is going to bring in more of it. So really try to shift your focus constantly on things that you do have, on things that you love. And you can have goals, you can have dreams and things that you desire, and the thing that's going to get you there is this present moment and the emotion that you're in right now, and kind of embodying your dream. As in, if you want to be a YouTuber, I know I keep using these examples, but it's just like personal experience and easy to use. But if you want to be a YouTuber, embody it right now. Go buy that camera, go invest in yourself. And if you do, and you take that leap of faith, even though it might be scary, the universe rewards the fearless. The universe rewards the brave. The universe will reward you for taking that action. Every action has a reaction. That is a basic law. And your action of love, your action of compassion, of spreading light, your action of journaling the type of person that you want, the action of visualizing the life that you desire, the house that you want to live in, and really dive back into your why. Why do you want all of these? Because when you charge up that emotion of why, that's when things start pouring in. Because if you just say, oh, I want this house, or I want this amount of money, but you don't really have a why, you're not backing it with enough emotion to attract it. You need to really get passionate about your goals. You need to get passionate about your dreams, because let me tell you, they are real and they are for you, and your dreams are planted in you because they're for you. So anything that you want, it's for you. It's meant for you. And don't question that. Okay, I know it's hard to believe because of past circumstances and all these beliefs that we have about ourselves, but I promise you, you are capable of so much more than you think, and the universe loves you. It loves you and it wants to give this to you, but we just need to work on opening our vessel of receiving it. When we're so blocked by these emotions and thoughts of, oh, I don't like this. Oh, I don't think it's coming. Hey, universe, did you hear me? Did you know that I want this? And this obsession and this control, we're not giving us enough space to even receive it. So, with that being said, I want you to take a quick look back at your life and think about all that you have manifested. We didn't realize in the grand scheme of things, we actually manifested our life up until now. Everything that we have asked for, everything that or not everything, I know we still want things, of course, but everything up until this moment, it was all the act of manifestation. We are constantly manifesting. Constantly. It doesn't stop. We can't turn it off. Your emotion manifests. Your energy manifests. It's the dominant energy. You don't have to be afraid to think. You don't have to be afraid to cry. That's good. It's releasing and shedding that stuffiness in our vessel, that closedness. Once we cry and release, we open our vessel a little more and a little more to release our manifestation. So don't be afraid of negative thoughts. Just sometimes I really just highly recommend, instead of seeking to understand why you're having these thoughts, just laugh at them. Please, if you have not, go watch my last episode on thoughts, because thoughts are crazy. And I think we should just start making fun of them because they're getting a little out of hand. And they're telling you all these things that are not true. And I wouldn't want you letting them dictate where you go from here and what your life is going to look like, because truly it's all like projection of fear, and all these limiting beliefs come up when we set a goal or manifestation. But what you say goes. The universe supports you, the universe loves you, and it wants the best for you. So it's going to give you what you focus on and what you re-energize. What you hold dear to you, you re-energize, and you manifested that. So instead of focusing on why does this keep happening to me, focus on why do I want this big of a goal, and really get down as to why you want it. I've noticed that a lot of my goals as to why I want money is because I want to stay close with the people that I love. I want to give to the people that I love. And when I think about the excitement that brings, I know I'm deserving of money. I know it'll be good in my own hands. And I can use these affirmations and this why to really fuel me into my dream. And what we want is really meant for us. And I'll be diving deeper into beliefs, because that's such an important thing when it comes to the law of attraction. Did I even talk about, okay, so I did talk about, law of attraction and what it is. And if you want more resources, the basic of law of attraction, you can watch The Secret, but there's a lot of stuff on YouTube that you can dive into as well, like law of assumption. I am going to be making a lot more episodes where this came from, because this is a big passion of mine and something that I really live by. And there's a lot of different routes when it comes to the law of attraction, so many subgenres. It's like EDM. I don't know if you listen to EDM, but so many things within it. And there's just so much to talk about. So I really hope you join me on this journey. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Follow. I don't even know follow if you're on Apple Podcast and Spotify. But I really hope you got clarity and got the message that you needed from this episode. And I will be making, like I said, so many more episodes on this. So stay tuned, and I love you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.